And I mean, even with the Tory shit, y'all know how I feel about that. Right. It's like,
how do you feel about it?
I mean, honestly, my thinking is this. First and foremost, it's like, whatever happened to fucking due process? Whatever happened to innocent till proven guilty? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you removed Meg from this situation, and this would have been some regular girl in a car with Tory and somebody else, and this incident would have happened, fans would have been saying like, well, let's wait for all the evidence to come out. But when you, especially, let's say if it was a white girl in the car with Tory and this thing would have happened, the culture definitely wouldn't have been riding against Tory like it is. So it's like we pick and choose how we want to get the motherfucking pitchforks and the flames and shit. It's like, let's wait till the evidence come out, right? Because when shit comes out, and let's just say it's not what the picture that was painted, that this man shot her, maybe it was something else, who the fuck is going back and saying, my bad, bro?
The damage is done.
Especially all these fucking rappers and shit that was just jumping on the bandwagon, right? Like, for me as a man first, I'm just like who raised you motherfuckers, right? Because my thing is this. If it's clear cut that Tory would have did shit, hey, counsel him. Like, I don't fuck counsel him. Like,
lock him up.
Somebody put hands on him, right?
Yeah.
I'm not with harming women. Absolutely not fucking with harming black women. Yeah. But
lock him up. He get dealt with.
You know,
right.
There's due process for a reason, man.
Yeah, I think it's, it's a little bit of both, right? I think as a culture, we need to be patient with what we hear. I think as soon as something comes across your Instagram feed, it's a fact.
Yeah.
Right? And that's a problem.
Yeah.
Like,
I think it puts us in the danger of, I continue to say this, I think it puts the culture in the danger of being, and when I say the culture, I'm really talking about black people. Mm-hmm. It puts us in danger of being the fucking people who cried wolf. Mm-hmm. And nobody, because if we call everything the same fucking thing without waiting for, video evidence, like I tell you, most recent, I don't know if y'all seen this video, but the video of like the police officer that supposedly had planted something on the brother that was in the car, and it was like the brother had
it in the backseat.
Yeah. But then when the fucking the officer's body cam came out, it was like they had took a clear baggie off of his guy, right? And the other officer was saying this. The other officer who handed it to him was like, here, we took this off of him. The people in the comment is just like, like, where's the footage of them saying this? He's saying this in front of the motherfucker that he just took it off of. Mm-hmm. If you didn't take no baggie off of me and you telling somebody else, hey, I just took that baggie off of him, hey, you ain't take that fucking baggie off of me. Mm-hmm. But people are not, it's that confirmation bias, bro. Mm-hmm. Nobody wants to be like, oh, okay, all right, I didn't see this part, right? Mm-hmm. So, hey, y'all, we might chill.
That's a fact.
But I'm saying is we put ourselves in danger of becoming the boy who cried wolf, because when shit is really some shit that we need the people to rally for, people be fucking exhausted.
Right.
Hey, like, look, man. Yeah. Hey, I tried to ride with y'all last time, man. Mm-hmm. And just because I didn't agree, motherfuckers started calling motherfucker a coon, calling motherfuckers Karens, and all of that shit. And it's just to be like, nah, I just don't see it the way you do.
There's no patience.
I'm just waiting on more information.
Yeah.
Like, why we be in such a fucking rush?
The culture has to be patient.
It's like black people have took on a victim mentality in this fucking this country, and we always looking for a reason to say, look, they doing it to us again. Mm-hmm. But here's the thing, and miss me with that bullshit, but I'm like, There ain't a motherfucker in these neighborhoods that don't know the motherfuckers that be terrorizing their neighborhoods. And ain't nobody trying to get them motherfuckers out of those neighborhoods.
You gotta know them to live there.
Yeah, exactly. Motherfuckers, those motherfuckers who terrorizing those neighborhoods is getting pussy. Is somebody's homies. Everybody know who these motherfuckers are.
Shit, if I live there, they're gonna be my homie too.
Yeah.
What up, big homie?
But I'm like, think about this. Think about if you lived in an affluent neighborhood, right? No matter what your background is, they gonna try to get you the fuck up out of there. I was telling you earlier, I was watching that interview from AZ, from the original AZ, from Paid in Full, right? And he was saying like, I live in a gated community now. He's like, the shit that we talking about happened in that like late 80s, early 90s. He's like, the shit people don't see is no matter where I move, these people somehow find out who I am and imagine the whole community signing petitions trying to get you out. So I'm like, in certain communities, they not okay with fucking murderers living around them. We be okay with this shit, man.
Right.
We be okay with this shit, man. And that shit just makes me think of maybe how weak the fucking men have become in our generation, right? Because there was once upon a time, bro, where motherfuckers be knocking at your door. You're not finna be beating on your wife. You're not finna be a old degenerate ass gambling motherfucker, you know, always spending your kids, gambling your kids' college fund in the bill money. Motherfuckers finna get you up out of that house. Now, bro, we just act like
everyone's for themselves.
Niggas shoot up the block, bro, and get your ass out that window. We know who the fuck these niggas are, bro.
That's what the culture has become, though.
Yeah.
You know, everybody's tight-lipped. Nobody wants no smoke, no drama. You know, it's not a culture. I mean, you look at neighborhoods like what you just said. You can reference that to any neighborhood in the hood, right?
Yeah.
And you can say like, you know, your first example was saying like, you know, back in the day, if you was walking down the street, you know, acting crazy, somebody's going to hem you up.
Yeah.
It could have been the store owner. It could have been the man picking up the garbage.
Right.
You know what I mean? You acting crazy, they're going to be like, yo.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where your parents at? They're going to say something to you.
Yeah.
Now, you could be doing the worst shit ever. And everybody's like, yeah, I don't see that shit.
Well, you know what, bro?
Like,
because there are no more communities, right?
That's the word.
Because
it's not a community anymore.
we don't stay in one place for too long. Think about this. When you was growing up as a child, grandma's house was grandma's house. Like not, you know, grandma stayed in that fucking house for 10, 15 years. Motherfuckers have been raised in there. Like some grown people, grandma's house still exists. You know what I'm saying? Now we become this culture where every year, every couple years, we moving around. So we're not in one place for too long to where you're invested in knowing the other people in your neighborhood. You don't know these motherfuckers.
Right.
So if you don't know them, I don't give a fuck. I remember the last building that I stayed in Chicago. It was a condo building, right? It was the only condo building on the block. So me personally, I want to know who the fuck stays around me, right? So I went introduced myself to the brother who stayed across the hall. Came to find out he was like a
you one of those guys.
he was a police officer though, but he was like what is the motherfuckers who track down? He was like a bounty hunter, right?
Right.
He was a police officer and like bounty hunting like part-time or some shit right there, right? But it was like he was a man though. We wanted to know who each other was, right? Even the brother downstairs.
Listen, I ain't gonna front. Cortez come to my door. You know, Cortez a big dude. Pause. You know, but he a big dude. You know, he come to my door. If I had a problem, like, yo, what you want, bro?
No, I was like in the hallway, like you know, you run into
Even
motherfuckers
worse.
in the hallway. It was just like, hey, what up, bro? You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, how's it going, brother? I'm such and such, right? And then you do that a couple times, and then Even at the building where I stay with, at the building in the complex I am now, it's like a much larger complex, and it's like a lot of foreigners in the building. So
Foreigners.
yeah, like
Talking about me?
like people with like real language barriers, like Armenians and Asians, motherfuckers who typically
they
put your
racist on
head
the
down
show,
when
yeah.
they see you. You know what I'm saying? Like you got some cultures where it's just like you walk past somebody, like we greeting each other, eye to eye, how you doing? You got some people who just like walk past you like that, right?
Sometimes they're a cultural thing.
Yeah. And so even here, like the brother was just like, no, he's a white guy. He's just like, hey, what's your name? Cortez. I forgot what the fuck his name is. I'll be honest with you.
I forget the man's name.
I forgot what
So
the fuck his name is.
I bet you remember Cortez name. He gonna be like, "What's up, Cortez?" Cortez gonna be like, "Yo, what's up, man?
Yeah.
What's up, bro?"
But no, man, it was like I be wanting to know who motherfuckers is, so I know. Okay, that's Benji that drive Porsche. That's
I don't know what he's talking
that's
about.
CJ
y'all.
that drive the Tesla. These are real cars.
I don't
y'all.
know what he's talking
These are they
about.
real cars. Like
I don't know what
you know what I'm saying? Like these hey,
I drive a Honda
they
Civic.
out here getting money.
I drive a
I don't
Honda
know what you're
Civic.
talking about.
Yo, they
Shout out to Honda Civics
they
out there. Ain't no shade. Ain't no
Hey,
shade.
we all pulled up in the triple black. You know what I mean?
I don't know what
Like,
you're talking about. I
but
took
nah.
an Uber here.
Yeah. I don't even got a driver's license.
But nah, I just be wanting to know, right? So it's like if I look out my window and I see a motherfucker breaking in your shit,
You know who to talk to, and you know to look out, and I'm gonna look out for you.
Brody just got his shit broke into, right?
Right.
I'm looking up. God damn, somebody. If I see a motherfucker like jigging in your shit, I'm like, God damn, let me call or let me go knock on bro door. You know what I'm saying? But if you don't know that person, you just looking out the window like, God damn, look, they about to break in them people's car.
Right.
You don't give a fuck. You ain't vested. You ain't invested. So it's just like that's a big problem. We don't know. We don't know.
It's heavy. It's a heavy topic, right? Because we can get really deep. We can start going into, how these neighborhoods that these projects and these hoods, for lack of a better word, were created.
But
what I mean? We can
I
get
think
deep into
we
it,
have to put more. We got to put more emphasis into how we get out, acknowledging that we're there, acknowledging that a lot of the habits that we have keep us there.
and that's
Materialism, all of that shit keeps us there. You know what I'm saying? And then we can get out because it's like,
I mean, I think we're going in the same direction,
Yeah.
right? I think I went deep with how it was started, but the black dollar is the most powerful dollar in the country,
Yeah.
right? So if that's the case, if we had a community and the black dollar stayed in that community, even though we were put in this situation that wasn't supposed to be for us.
Right.
You know what I mean? Projects don't have a good ring to it.
Yeah.
They don't ring like the Hamptons. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, but we got the best dollar.
would you agree with this statement that the black people, the black consumer, the black culture is the only culture that cannot be told what to do with its resources, with its money? You think about most other cultures, right? How do Asians spend their money?
With Asians.
Right. That's ingrained. You think about it, like every other culture is ingrained into keeping within its own, right? And that's okay for them.
Mm-hmm.
But for some reason, the black dollar, the black consumer is the only one who feels guilt with doing so.
The thing about it, my bad. I didn't mean
No,
to cut you
go
off.
ahead.
So the thing about it is because we've been taught that we were inferior, right?
Yeah.
We were taught that our products are inferior. We were taught that basically whiteness is likened to wealth, right? So like if I'm wearing polo, I'm wearing this or that, I feel more valuable. But if I go support Cortez shirt company, that doesn't bring me any value. Yes, I'm supporting my own boy, but to the world, that doesn't show I got money.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
And that's, it starts from that. Like,
Yeah.
we aren't valuing ourselves,
Right.
right? We don't even value each other.
No.
right.
Like there's no love for each other.
Right.
We value the shit that we have more so than each other. But the crazy thing is, we only value that based off how we feel when somebody looks at us with it.
That's a fact.
So I don't value you, but I value the fact that you envy what I have.
Mm-hmm.
How fucking twisted is that? I don't respect you, but it makes me feel good that you, who I think is less than me, looks at what I have as something you want.
Yeah.
How fucking twisted is that, bro?
Right.
Because it comes, you have people who never had anything, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And whatever you did, you made some right decisions, you struck it rich. The first thing you do is show a bunch of money to
Yeah,
the world, show a bunch of jewelry to the world, show a bunch of cars to the world, because that's what makes you feel good. It's not your own wealth. You know what I'm saying? It's not like, is that wealthy? You know what I mean? Like, you're just showing us a bunch of material things, right? Watches, cars, stacks of money. But where's the true wealth?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, how are you valuable to me? Or like, where's your true value?
Right.
Because you strip away all of that, like, what does that leave me? Like, do you take away the cars? Keep the money, but take away the cars, take away everything that you're showing me. What do you have? Do you feel comfortable in a white tee and no jewelry on, just chilling?
Mm-hmm.
Probably not, because of the insecurities probably that was ingrained throughout their lives, because you feel a sense of power, the thrill, the rush. They talk about in today's society, you put the watches on, you get the likes, you get all this attention, it brings a thrill, and it's addictive, right? So I think, it's a lot of, I call it mental training. You have to mentally train yourself on a daily basis when you put yourself in these uncomfortable situations to try to slowly learn.
Yeah.
Because it's not an overnight thing.
Well, we become a people, man, that we always trying to put ourselves in a position to be seen because we feel so fucking invisible. So every purchase we make is an attempt to say, look at me. And you see that even more so with social media, right? This is why, like, I was talking about how, like, when we were going to dinner every week, initially, I don't
go to dinner with him, yo. I'm not going to dinner. I don't know what he's talking about.
every week,
I don't know what he's talking
well, one of the guys is missing, but every week we would go to a different fine dining establishment, right? Just camaraderie, talking business, therapy, talking about our life and shit like that, right? And initially, I felt good, and I would take a picture everywhere we were, take a video, right? But then at some point, I stopped, right? Because I remember seeing this meme that said, "Are you grinding to be seen or to disappear?" Right? And then I thought about somebody like Awa, our brother Awa.
Shout out to Awa.
Awa, successful brother. I'm sure you guys are gonna see him on the podcast once or twice. But Awa is basically non-existent on social media, right? He has a page, but he's not flashy, not showing everything. So it's just like, if a person like that who has a lot of the things, a lot of the success that I hope to achieve, can be cool with walking into a room and nobody knowing, like, yo, he's that dude, why the fuck do I feel like I have to be seen? I want to be seen in every room I walk. It's insecurity.
That's why I was touched on.
Yeah. It's insecurity. So now my page is pretty much just a business page. I just post business. I don't post anything professional, right? Because I'm just like, for one, I want to learn to be in the moment. You ever see like people like soon as they get to a fucking vacation, they go
pull
to
out
the
the
hotel
phone.
room, they walking through the fucking room before they can even enjoy it themselves.
Hey, listen, I'm not gonna lie, that's me.
Yeah, but before you can even enjoy it
I'm the person.
yourself,
Yeah.
you walking through like showing everybody. It's like, bro, you haven't even seen this shit. Like, take it in, enjoy it yourself, and then like later on, bring the people in, or bring people in when I'm leaving. You know what I'm saying? Like, we just
I think it's I think it's a balance, right? And I think once we start learning these habits, again, I stress this. I talk about all the time. Mental training. It's if you're that person that goes everywhere and like you said, you did it. You did it without even knowing.
Yeah.
You went every restaurant. You're taking pictures. You realize, you know what? I need to start living in the moment a little more. Maybe I do this sometimes. So it's training yourself. It's really recognizing those bad habits because we're imperfect beings.
That's the lesson. That's the, you know what? I'm glad you said that because that's a point that I forgot about that I want to harp on. So I told y'all like recently, did a house call for the brother who's the not the ex, but the vice president of Tyler Perry Studios, right. Mark Swinton.
People.
You know, I get into some rooms every now and then. I be rubbing elbows. You know what I mean? Solid, super solid brother, right? And what I realized was, I'll do this thing right where I have, and it's something that I'm working on, right? This bit of like judgmental thing, like when I hit a growth or a new level, that I'm looking at the people who still doing the shit that I've outgrown, and I'm kind of looking at them like,
them niggas ain't shit.
Right.
Yeah, right.
Look at them little niggas down there.
I can, but what I'm saying is, as much as the thing that I no longer do, that I look at as a flaw, it's also a flaw for me to look at those people as if they're inferior. But that's the next step of growth, right? Acknowledging that that's a flaw, right? And every time I would say something like in that manner, it was that brother who would bring it back to, well, you know what? Like you said, we all inferior people, man. We've all been there before. We people that's trying to make it, right? I picked up on that, and I'm just like, oh man, I'm starting to sound like the motherfucking old man that's always, look at these little young dumb motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? I'm becoming that guy. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just like, I don't want to be that guy, right? Because your message, and I think Cosby went through a bit of this. I remember at one point Cosby started speaking down on the culture to a certain extent. It's kind of why a lot of people have this kind of disdain within the culture that they have for Cosby, because he was doing that at some point, talking down on the younger generation, talking down on comedians that cursed. It's like people will no longer hear the message and they'll just start looking at you as you toxic. And to a certain extent, that is a bit of toxicity, right? Because the way you put it is the way you should be thinking. So it's like, man, I have to learn how to bring these people into the fold where I am now, instead of saying like, hey man, y'all still doing that shit, man.
Right.
Like, ain't no.
Yeah, we got to hold each other accountable as far as reaching back.
Yeah.
Right. And I heard somewhere you should split your time between people. I think it's like 33% of people behind you on your level, and then people above you.
That's 33 people.
Listen, man,
so what you do with that 1% that's
listen,
left
man,
over?
I failed math.
He gonna fuck that 1% off. He's like, fuck that 1%.
Fuck that 1%.
I mean, but yeah, what CJ said is correct. I think how I look at it, I didn't know there was a percentage to it, but
it's 33. It's 33%.
33.
I probably made that up. I probably made that
It
up.
sounds like some made up shit too.
probably
Like
made that
33.
shit up,
Like,
but look,
that's a specific ass number. It's a specific ass number to say 33. It couldn't be like 50-50. It had to be 30.
Don't fact check me. I might have made that shit up. But
Please don't fact check anything.
33 and 1/3, right? 33 and 1/3.
But
It's
yeah,
1/3 of 1%.
but yeah, I mean, I always felt like, you always be open. It's always good to be able to have conversations with everyone on different levels, and always be open to those conversations. Never be too good for a conversation. Right. You know what I mean? So that's how I always look at it, where You know, no matter where you're at in life, you know, if you go from the Honda and now you're driving a Porsche, you
So
still
you admit that you driving a Porsche?
I don't know what they're talking about. I'm just
He's talking about when he goes
just
from the Honda to the
specifically
Porsche.
said a Porsche, though, right?
He's talking about when he goes
it was
from
just
Honda.
stuck in my mind from when you mentioned it earlier. That's all
the
it was.
keys are stuck in your pocket too.
I have no idea what you guys are talking about. But anyway, back to what I was saying.
That's a Carrera 911. What is it?
I've-
GT.
Whoa. What kind of cars are those? Hopefully one day I'll get one. Wow, that's amazing. But yeah, but you get what I'm saying though. You know what I mean? Like be able to have those conversations because, you know, as soon as you feel like you're too good, that's when your downfall begins. You know what I mean? Because everybody, you'll be shocked what the person that you think is on a lower level, you'll be shocked what that conversation brings.
Right. Essentially, I mean, what you're saying is everybody at every level has value. Right?
Absolutely.
To everyone, no matter
Absolutely.
what level you
Absolutely.
at. You know, whether you're up here where someone aspires to be,
Yep.
whether you down here, you know, like everyone can learn something
Absolutely.
and teach something to everyone.
Yep.
You know, everybody has value.
Absolutely.
And
you have to think like that. You have to look at everybody like that. You know,
yeah. And I'm learning that, right? I was listening to that brother speaking, and I'm just like, oh, that's the next level, right? I'm thinking the next level is where I am now, like where you shared, you know, the toxic thinking and toxic act, but you're just like, no, because now I'm looking on the people who still think like that. There's another level. I'm like, he's at the next level. I have to get there, right?
Yep.
Because I would say one thing that I love about myself, right? And I'm not ashamed to say it. I feel like we don't do that enough. We don't champion ourselves enough, right? To find the qualities in ourselves to say like, yo, this is a dope thing about me that I love about myself is
Cortez is a great planner, y'all. Great planner.
I'm able to recognize a great quality in somebody, especially if it's something that I lack, and say like, I want to add that to my repertoire.
Right.
Coincidentally, right, when we had an episode last season where we talked about the superpower shit.
Yeah.
And we said like,
I remember. Hold on, just to recap, we were talking about. Remember when they said something about black people supposed to get superpowers at midnight, right?
Mm-hmm.
This nigga said he's gonna steal everybody's superpowers. That's his superpower. He's gonna steal niggas' superpowers. Bully ass nigga.
See, you did.
No.
The reason why we can't get ahead.
Why we can't have shit.
Look.
I can't even have.
I
superpowers.
took that from somewhere, right?
Yo.
If any of y'all ever seen the show Heroes, right? That was a dope ass character who everybody had powers. His superpower was, even though he was killing people and taking their powers, that was his superpower.
Yeah, midnight come, we gonna be like, my power.
Right.
Oh, you
This
see
nigga took
Cortez
your shit. Right.
flying in the
Right.
sky with everybody palm on here. Look at you.
But there's no coincidence, right? That I said that would be my superpower, and now I'm saying that I can recognize the great in other people, and I
Steal it.
Don't steal my shit, bro. Shit, man. Like, can I
So,
live? Like,
hey, come on, man. Y'all got to give it up for me. Like it's something dope about that, right? That I was able to
I ain't
make
gonna
that,
have no power, bro.
that correlation, right? Like that's fire, man. Y'all ain't gonna give it up to me. Somebody gonna give it up to me. Like, oh, I remember that. Like, ain't nobody gonna say that. It's all good.
You got it.
No. But
you got it.
But no, I thought that was interesting, right? That I thought that would be my superpower. But then that's just how I look at people. I just try to not emulate, because I think like when you emulate something, it's not authentic.
Right.
It's not organic.
But what's that saying? Imitation is the biggest form of
Flattery.
flattery.
Right.
Yeah. But is it, I don't want to imitate, right? I want to absorb and implement.
But you're gonna always have your own style.
Yeah.
Remember, like, even if you see, let's use sports.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna use Kobe and Jordan.
Yeah.
Right.
They play very similar.
Yeah.
You know, because obviously
Kobe studied.
Jordan, but
Yeah.
Kobe still had a different style. As much as he studied Jordan, he had Kobe shit.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, Jordan got Jordan shit.
Right.
Kobe had his.
But I think
his
that's
bag.
I think that's the difference between imitating and implementing, right? Because I think like when you imitate, you just doing it for a certain, you
For
know,
an outcome.
Yeah, you're doing it for outcome.
Right.
He's sharp. That's why I call the boy witty. That's why I call the boy witty, right?
He is sharp like that hairline, y'all. Look at that hairline.
And implementing is like when you just add it to your forte, your repertoire, and it's just like, yeah, I took that and made it my own. Like Jay said, you made it a hot line. I made it a hot song.
Right.
Hey,
That's a bar.
bars.
Drop the mic. Drops the mic.
I done fucked up the goddamn.
Can't take him nowhere,
y'all.
Got the cords all tangled.
All right, I'm back.
Yeah.
I'm back. No, I'm not back
Oh,
yet.
Jesus.
Okay.
Lord, somebody take the wheel.
We're gonna have to edit all this. We're gonna have to edit all this shit out.
Oh,
It's gonna take them 2 minutes to do this shit. We're gonna have to edit that.
All right. Nah, that's staying there. All right, y'all. So this show here, man, was only an hour. You know, it was like, let's call this the layup. Let's call this the warm up. You know, we just wanted to introduce y'all to the brother Benji. You know, get back in the swing of things. You know, I got my swagger back. You know what I'm saying? All of that. But
We're there.
yeah, next week, you know
what you just said, but
I don't know. I think he said Rodeo.
Rodeo. That's what I heard too. Rodeo.
It closed right now, bro. Like
Hey, I don't shop
Porsche.
over there.
That's what I'm saying. Niggas with
shop over
Porsches
there.
be on.
Right,
Niggas with
his
Porsches be on
mindset.
Rodeo, right?
Woo!
Yeah.
I be in Target.
Yeah, whatever. That sounds like a place on Rodeo too. I'll be in Target. But no, y'all, we'll be back next week with a longer episode. You know, we just wanted to kind of like get back in the swing of things, man. You know, glad to be back. You know, all of that, man. So, as y'all know, we say,
Thieves out.
Thieves out.
hey, we didn't even have the coach. We didn't even have the coach on it.
Just picked it up.
Man,
Thieves
the boy just falls right in, right? He just like, hey, whatever that nigga said, I'm saying.
I'm imitating that man over there. He look like he got it.
All right, y'all. Deuces.